I'm Stephanie, and this is Snowdome of the Day. Today's Snowdome is a resin dome from Berlin, and it is a magnet. It has an incredibly strong magnet, very useful in anybody's office or home. This Snowdome features, I think, the Brandenburg Gate, and then a couple other landmarks that I find especially enjoyable. Let's see if I can find them. Here, do you see the pointy tower? That's the Frühstürm. It's a television tower built in the 60s on purpose to be a landmark. It's a symbol of all of Berlin's ability to communicate. And then here, you see this? This is the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Kirche Church. It was bombed in the Second World War in 1943 and suffered significant damage. Next to it, I don't know if you'll see this more modern building. Later, after the war, the people there chose to keep the damaged part of the cathedral there as a memorial, and then they built a modern building next to it. So together it functions as one building where you can come and you can pray, you can contemplate, you can think about the atrocities of world wars. Something that I didn't expect when I visited was that inside of that building is a fair trade shop. And it makes sense in that I think of fair trade as being something that connects people across cultures, and it brings peace and certainly brings economic justice. I just didn't expect to find a fair trade shop there, so that was something that I found really delightful. Something else I didn't expect when I visited Berlin was what an international city it is. I've been to other parts of Germany that, well, they seemed very German. And in Berlin, I was struck by how many people I came across who were from other nations and had either come to Berlin as an immigrant or a refugee, or were visiting from those other places. There was some kind of festival happening in a park near our hotel, and a reporter was looking for a German to interview, and I'm the person that they found to try to interview because I was the person who seemed most German to them. I'm like, no, I am not German. I mean, I am, but I can't speak to you in German. Nein, bitte, nein. But it was really interesting to be in such a mixture of people, hearing so many languages being spoken and so many people communicating with each other in one space, but obviously coming from many, many different contexts. And I really enjoyed that about Berlin. The architecture, of course, was also very, very interesting because it's a mix of old and new because of the destruction of the wars that have been there. So I lift up to you this place that I hope to return to one day. A place that I think is hard to think about if you know any of the history without considering the damage, the long-term damage of world wars, but then also the possibility of peace that emerges afterwards. And I give thanks for that peace part of that, for the efforts people make to rebuild, to create new community and new ways of being. So today, I think about that mixture of architecture that we find in our communities. I think about the buildings that are missing and why they might be gone. I think of the new buildings that have been constructed and wonder if they've been constructed with intentionality, such as the Kaiser Wilhelm Kirche, and the intentionality around combining modern architecture with older architecture. And I think about how in our lives we draw from history in this present day. And I hope we're able to continue to learn from what has already happened so that we as a people in a global community can do a better job of being community. So with that, I conclude today's Snowdome of the Day. Deep thoughts coming to you from a little tiny Snowdome that's resin and the magnetic purpose and personality. I hope you have a good day. I give thanks for you and your faithfulness.